This is a certified hood classic.
Hey now.
Another one.
All rise. Order in the court. It is time. Happy Taco Tuesday, by the way.
Oh, it is Taco Tuesday. I completely forgot. I'm having Chinese for dinner.
Why not? Then just do Taco Wednesday, whichever is fine.
And I just ordered taco stuff for tomorrow. So, you know, I'm
yesterday, we were trying to figure out what we were going to do for dinner, and I was feeling like crap. Anyways, I was like, but you know, tacos sound good. And didn't you say when you did your big Walmart order that we were going to have tacos, right? I said, so you got any sour cream? That's usually the one that's not, because she don't like sour cream. She goes, no, I forgot. I said, what about, you got any shredded lettuce? No. Well, at least we got cheese, right? The shredded cheese. No.
But then we're not having tacos. You have nothing but meat.
So we ordered out last night. Had DoorDash. We did. We have meat and taco seasoning. So
that does not make a taco. Good to see you, Dave.
Yep.
It's Tuesday, man. I thought for sure it was Wednesday this morning when I woke up. So wishful thinking, I guess. But yeah, we're gonna get on into this. This is a TPO that's fresh off the grill.
Nice.
We just had this one happen not even an hour ago.
All right.
Pretty interesting. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I don't give anything away, but this dude over here down in the box down there, that he's in love with a beautiful woman, which I think I see why. She just definitely out of his. I'm not saying she's a model, but definitely out of his wheelhouse as far as getting Wermans go.
She also doesn't like mayonnaise, but loves like macaroni salad, potato salad, anything that has mayonnaise in it, loves it. Mayonnaise itself? Nope.
Not her.
First time we Bay Comeback Express.
Bay come back.
Dave, thank you. Let's jump into this.
Proof, so she will go first. For the most part, I will direct the questioning of the petitioner to get the information I need. I'll try to leave that open-ended as far as the questions themselves. The respondent's attorney will have the opportunity to follow up with any questions they have in cross-examination. If the petitioner has other witnesses they intend to call, then they can do so, and those witnesses would be cross-examined thereafter. And then when the petitioner has rested, the respondent can elect whether to present evidence or not, testify or to remain silent. And at the conclusion of that, I will make a decision regarding the extension of the 12-month order. Ms. Beeler, would you please go ahead and raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear any statements you make to the court today will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. All right. You have filed this case against Mr. Robbie, and to the best of your knowledge, he is a DeKalb County resident. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. How long have you known of this person or been aware of them in any way?
Were you made aware of their existence?
I would say I first ran into him, I don't know, March or April of last year. I used to live next door to him, so I'm sure maybe we crossed paths prior to that. But didn't really actually start communicating until around April or May, I believe.
Okay. And you said used to live next door. Which one of you two moved elsewhere?
I did, due to the circumstances and the fear for my safety. I moved out actually 2 months early prior to my lease, paid double rent because that was important for my overall well-being.
Wow.
All right. And
pulling an Adam the Woo, living in Florida and California.
I guess to give you kind of a guide of what to expect here, we'll talk through what your experience has been with the other party. I am not somebody who, I don't want you to fret about particular dates, for example, but what's important is having a general timeline. So if there's something that happened back in October of last year, it's not exactly relevant to me and the decision I have to make if it was the 13th or the 15th. And people often in these hearings feel like, oh, if I can go through my phone, I can find that answer. You can say mid-October, you can say last fall. And what I tell people, and this goes for everybody who has a hearing like this before me, usually the first time frame or explanation that pops into your head is going to be a good faith one and going to be accurate. So if you said, the closer you get to the present, the more precise you should be able to be. But if something was last Christmas or last month or this past week or whatever it may be, that's enough for me to have a general idea of sort of how things have played out. And that's really the focus of this. So don't feel stressed to be 100% precise, so long as we understand the rough timetable of things. So you two began talking last spring, and what happened from there?
Yeah, so we first started associating Memorial Day of last year, and I would say loosely dated until about, and I know I appreciate your detail around dates. So I would say around August 7th is when I essentially communicated that I no longer wanted anything further in a relationship. I was happy to stay neighborly, friendly, if you will. I didn't want to have any tension there, but I did not want to pursue anything further. I had seen some very significant red flags in the behavior that made it very clear to me that I did not want to pursue this any further.
Okay. And so the relationship ended in August, and what concerning contact occurred after that?
Yep. So
sorry, I had an important phone call. Did I miss anything?
So basically, they were neighbors. They started this I don't know. It doesn't even seem like a relationship. It seems like more they were talking and kind of like, getting to know each other, which, I don't know if I'd bang a neighbor.
That's like banging somebody at work, right?
Yeah,
you stay away from that.
It's banging somebody at work adjacent for sure. You got to be careful with those kinds of things. You never know what's going to happen. Drama. I mean, it must have got really bad because she said she left 2 months early on her lease and paid rent there and at the new place at the same time. So
yeah, that's when something's serious. Speaking of drama, trying to get this car situation with Emily is an absolute, of course, nightmare. They did the pinstriping, it's all crooked, looks like crap. She's supposed to get it this morning. They're supposed to bring it up, deliver it, right? Nope, tomorrow morning. Well, now that's all changed because she's going to the beach on the weekend anyways. Friday. So I just said to her dad, I said, well, why don't we just pay for a rental car for another 2 days? And she just goes down there and gets it at the dealership like a normal human being. So anyways, we're trying to work all that out, and they're finalizing everything right now, and she is at work and can't even talk on the phone. So Creed dead. So I apologize.
Look at Creed.
She's gonna get the car soon though, and it's all gonna be over. And Dave, thank you. I owe you one fart, Dave. I'm sorry.
It's in the can.
I was not ready for a good fart.
Constant attempts. I have attached a lot of evidence, screenshots. I'm sure we can get into that later. But constant attempts of communication past that point, asking why I don't want to pursue it further, with my answer being the same over and over again, asking further detail and explanation, to the point where I went over and over again saying, I just want to be left alone. I just want to be able to move forward. Around in October, let's say. So that was about in August. Those communications went on for
legendary Mayor Mary likes turtles. Thank you. You were awesome.
That's a gift that keeps on giving.
That's a month's worth of a gift to somebody.
It doesn't even sound like they were having intimate relations, I believe they like to say it. Did it get that far? The intimate part?
I would hope so. If we're to the point where we're trying to get a protection order against somebody, I hope that in that relationship there was a little something. But lots of red flags so far. Yes, I agree.
No swimming allowed.
That's right.
A little while. in October, on October 6th, actually, I found in my trash can outside of my apartment, there were flowers, a 2-page letter, as well as 2 Apple Watches. The reason my trash can in the apartments, we have like a valet trash service. So you put your trash out in the evening and take your trash can in the morning, right? So that was the only exposure he could really see of mine. The letter was very disturbing. I have that uploaded as evidence, as well as the Apple Watch. There was just gifts that were unwarranted, right? So I texted the
I'm confused. So what, did he throw them away?
No. So knowing the only place he would be able to come in contact with her, they have valet trash service.
Okay.
So basically you take your trash to the spot, and apparently he knew where hers was and whatnot. So he had set up flowers, a 2-page letter, and 2 Apple Watches. Why does this bitch need 2 Apple Watches? I mean, come on, man.
Maybe.
One would have sufficed. I didn't mean to call her after name.
But she did. Alex Trey, thank you. 2 bones. By the way, she is disgusted down there. Look at the look that you just made, because you just made that.
Sorry.
I texted him back saying, I'm going to leave these at your door. I do not want these. Please continue to leave me alone.
So let me jump in and stop here. You found the notes, the flowers, and the watches where?
In my trash can.
Okay, so had the trash been emptied and then they had been placed inside the empty trash can?
Exactly. So at night, you put your trash can out with your trash. The trash company collects the trash. In the morning, you take your empty bin in. So in the morning, I went out, take my empty bin in, open the bin, and find these things inside.
Okay, and so since you've referenced the evidence, Madam Clerk, we're going to see if we can screen share.
It's so desperate.
Yep, that's it's petitioner number 2
Slightly.
that I have.
So-
Actually 2 and 3.
Like, that's enough there. Like, that's enough right there. As far as listen, if you go to that length, you're stalking somebody. I'm sorry.
I just had these Apple Watches laying around.
I mean,
Figured you might like them. Oh, by the way, I wrote this 2-page manifesto that's not a manifesto. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy it. Let's see this evidence.
I wonder if that's what it was, a friends with benefits thing, and he just fell in love.
So those were the flowers and the candle that were in the trash can. If you go to the next picture,
Oh, you went cheap with them flowers.
those were the Apple Watches with a note that you can see there. I'm not too sure if you can zoom in
I just looking at big old
and
hunk of
read
garlic.
the note that was there.
Girl loves a good banana.
Are you able to read that?
There's
note?
only one thing more precious than our time, and that's
This
who we
deep.
spend it on.
Yeah.
Happy Rosh
I thought he
Hashanah.
was getting ready to
Okay.
say a joke.
I'm Jewish, so I was celebrating the holidays with
Mazel
my
tov.
family. If you go to the next slide, this is evidence of saying I responded back on October 6th. Thanks, but no thanks. I will leave the Apple Watches and candle outside of your door now. This is the respondent obviously acknowledging that he left those there. Now, if you, whenever you're done, if you'll go to petitioner number 3, that there is a 2-page note in that evidence, or in that.
Give us one moment.
He's got the amazing handwriting.
Okay, and so forgive me for the sequencing here. So this would be Yom Kippur follows at the tail end of
Well, that was,
Rosh
it does. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
That note was actually in the trash can as well. I just uploaded it separately. So I don't know if you want me to read it or you want to read that.
I can read it. Mr. Shen, are you able to read it, or I can read it out loud?
You want to just
Read it out loud.
Reading
I'm
off.
sorry,
on
Mr.
the
Shen, your audio is a little bit choppy. Can you
Oh,
repeat that
sounds
for me?
great.
Oh, yes, of course, Your Honor. So I'm just wondering if Ms. Beeler is tendering all this into evidence, so I can raise an objection if necessary.
Yeah.
or
Yeah, that's what she's
um,
doing.
What will your objection be? I mean, we still have to review it all before it's ruled upon.
Right. So I'm just trying to figure out, is she tendering right now, or what is she trying to do? I mean, was
She's
laying a
introducing
foundation or
evidence.
I'm explaining the different circumstances that have gone on.
We are looking at the information.
Needless to say, the lawyer's not off to a great start.
No, he's not. Maybe we should have not hired the great Muda to represent us here in court. I mean, he's a great wrestler, but a crappy attorney.
That is received. And then we will address foundation and tender it into evidence thereafter. What is your objection?
If I may raise an objection right now, I'll raise an objection based on authentication, Your Honor.
Okay, she has testified that these items were left on her porch, and she has displayed text messages from the respondent acknowledging he left them there. So what particularly in respect of the authentication are you unsatisfied about?
Your Honor, the note or the letter we're looking at, there's no identifying, at least I can see that's from my client.
Okay, let's click. You know what? I tell you what, we're gonna read this. Are you able to read it, Mr. Shin?
Yes, Your Honor. It's sort of.
Okay. Well, I'm going to read it out loud to make sure we're all on the same page here. Dearest Allie, if you are reading this, I finally made up the courage to find a way to say, also cleaned your trash. So good for me. I thought a million ways to say this and did not find an easy one. Forgive my boring attempt at correspondence. Important thing is to feel close and know that you are loved. It's hard to believe the autumnal equinox is over and done with. Now the days get longer.
Man, thank God Creed ain't reading this, because that would be a nightmare. Thank God. Thank you, Judge. I like this. This is something new for us.
And luckily, my dude's got good handwriting, and that helps out
There's
tremendously.
no way that's actual handwriting, right?
Oh, come on, man.
Typed out handwriting?
Why would you type a letter that made it look like you had wrote it?
It's too perfect. There's no way. It's way too perfect.
Perish the thought. For now, I am cherishing and appreciating each and every day, long or short. Tempus fugit. How are you, Allie? It was a real delight to see you for the first time after a month. What it feels like to be a weight of a lifetime.
Stan, thank you for being here, Stan. The whole fucking point of the channel is to do that. So
you interrupt the proceedings.
You've interrupted all of us
way too often.
now.
With silly, this is a silly channel.
That's the point, Stan.
Stan, this is
like every other channel on YouTube, Stan.
Stan, this is a little silly. I mean,
hey, Stan. Thank you, Stan.
Stan, everybody, good to see Stan. And just for Stan, the great Muda.
Thank you for the great Muda. Stan, for real, though, that's the whole point of this channel. If you don't like it, go to the other billion channels.
But thank you for stopping and saying something, because now we're going to completely change everything we're doing.
That's right. Now I'll just sit here in silence and Stan.
All the prayers I did as I cross every corner of our hallways, lift doors, parking lot, hoping to see you on the other end, were finally answered. I hope you are eating healthy and taking good care of pancreas. I hope you would agree that good connections are hard to find and harder to lose. Okay? I learned that they need work too. They too need work, courage, which is probably why they were good.
Dave, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Now on with Stan's World.
And the work towards it can be ugly, dissatisfying, and everything in between. But if we can show the tiniest bit of resilience, love has its magical way to make everything work. Truth be told, I saw a future with you, Allie, a bright one that our parents and family will be proud of, one for the generations to come, one our kids can look back and be proud of.
What?
It wasn't until one of these long evenings that I spend reminiscing our days together that it hit me with repentance. More I think, more I repent. Maybe I was too scared I'd lose you. I could only imagine what you have gone through. What worries me is that I did not intend any of that. I am truly sorry. There is not a single moment that I did not feel guilty ever since. Most people don't know what they are doing. They act, some bad, some good. What if we choose not to act and not give a fuck? What does it take to live a life on our own terms?
No, I don't feel bad for dropping an F-bomb in the middle of the afternoon either, because the judge just did it. So take that, Stan.
Judge Dude on it.
Judge Dude. This guy's quite the wordsmith. I'll give him that.
I will. I mean, he's
you know.
planning their life together. He's planning on their children. Again, did he bang her? I mean, I hope so.
I mean, he's talking about the great life that they can have together. With celebrating with family.
Gary!
Round of applause for Stan. Thanks, Stan. You interrupted more in this court proceeding than we did. I paused it, by the way, dipshit. Onward.
What if there is only love? What if everyone realized we were and are going to be here only for a fraction of a second? Doesn't the music connect better? Doesn't every second justify our lives? Don't you want to find a person and find everything else together? Doesn't every part of the earth excite you? A wise man once said that there are 2 lives for a person, and the second one starts when he realizes he only got one. And I realized that when I lost you. Well, I cannot say I lost you. I have all the beautiful memories that I cherish.
First of all, Dave, thank you. 5 Bones, killing it today. Appreciate it. Yeah, this dude's kind of scary. And if
This
they
is,
did not,
if they didn't,
a lot of memories, man.
and if they did, it had to be the first time for him because he's acting like this is the first woman he's ever touched. Ever.
Yes, it's the first woman that's ever.
It's like a note, you know, a 13-year-old wrote to his 18-year-old babysitter.
Good off. That's right. Don't Stan.
Our time hitting the wall, Costco trips, the movies, the fun we made on our neighbors.
Oh, they went to the movies together. Dave, another $2. I can't even keep up with you guys.
Something about hitting the wall.
All that boring astronomical indulgence I forced on you. Our ice cream runs. I still remember our date on the rooftop after the.
You just say ice cream rubs. By the way, I'm going to interrupt it now every 10 to 15 seconds.
Ice cream runs. Look here, man. Your bathroom business is all about you, pal.
Right.
No need to, and you know, you're into that weird, gross stuff. It's your thing, man. I'm not here to shame what you're into, but don't put it in a letter.
Especially when you're trying to like win one over.
I'm gonna woo you with my shits.
I'm not sure if anybody's noticed what it's signed as, but that's really creepy when we get to that.
I got a letter just like that in the mail yesterday.
Disastrous movie in the popcorn machine seats. Nature was talking to me while you were just setting your hair. I was having a moment of my life. It is almost surprising how such a little thing could impact someone so much. What made it so special? Is it the environment? Is it the person doing it? Is it the person feeling it? Was I just attracted? Why did I not consider you glitter? How do I know you make me a better man? How do I know you would be the most important woman in my life after my mother and sister and one day replacing them? How do I know you are not any other average white girl? Ignorance truly is bliss. I cannot answer any of these questions.
All right, that's a little much. Oh, the average white girl.
How do I know you're not an average white girl? Well, I've been around a few, and
Dave, thank you.
Questions. But what is more romantic than a man's willing to love a woman for the rest of his fucking life? Answer is none. Missing you lots. Your greatest fan ever.
Your greatest fan ever.
All right. So, ma'am, you were still
ma'am, we're going to
residing at
grant
the
this.
apartment. You received the note, the flowers, the candle, and did you say Apple Watches plural?
2 Apple Watches. I returned all of them, and I had that text message received.
And so, if we can display the text message again, please. I think it was number 2.
Number 2.
Ugh,
And so this was a
goodness.
text message that you sent to a number that you knew to be the respondents. Is that correct?
I did not. I did not want to keep any of that. I did not ask for that. All I asked was to be left alone. So I wanted to return that.
All right. And so, Madam Clerk, can we display number 2 again? Or whatever the text messages were?
No, I don't think so. I think she gave it all back to him that day, I'd imagine.
Yeah. She's not a gold digger.
Sorry, can you say that again, please?
I
Can
said
we
she's
get the
not a
text
gold
messages
digger.
again? I think it was number 2.
Not a gold digger. She is not.
Michael.
Thank you.
That's a big one.
How it was originally marked.
Number 2, okay,
Number 2, third picture.
third picture.
I mean,
Now, I
honestly,
did obviously keep the letter.
that's what I would have done, is kept one of them or both of them and sold them on Facebook Marketplace in a heartbeat.
Well, you know,
That's
maybe
me.
this girl feels like then he'll have an attachment, or maybe he's got some sort of tracking device on it, or
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
For sake of evidence, but I put that there.
All right. So
Please just take the
you
wild.
received the messages, the letter was unmarked, and then when you contacted him, he acknowledged the items and asked that you keep the watch.
$2 are coming in fast and strong today, Dave. Thank you again. And Lisa B for Stan's Uber.
See what you did, Stan?
See,
You see
Stan,
what you did?
You've interrupted this entire effing case.
Are you happy now?
Yeah.
Are you happy now? I'm not happy. Hope you're happy though.
Obviously, you declined that. And would you like, and have you done anything to alter in any way the content or context of the text messages or the letter that was displayed as they were marked when they were received by the clerk as petitioners 2 and 3?
No, I have not.
Okay, and those are fair and accurate copies of those messages.
Correct.
All right, Mr. Shen, any objection to these being admitted into evidence?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. So this happened in early October. And
Yeah.
what happened after that?
Okay, so after October 6th, October 16th, there was a very long string of text messages. If the petitioner 5 evidence is all of the text messages, we might have to scroll down to October 16th. But I have them all there to show the multiple attempts of me asking him to leave me alone.
Okay, well, let me see if we can pull those up. Give us just a moment. And when you say all the text messages, you're saying this is from when to when, roughly?
Dave again on the 2 bones, and Donna.
She's on the loose. Donna's on the loose.
Thank you, guys.
I have, so there's quite a few, and I've got timestamps on a few of them as well. And if it's possible, okay, it's starting here. August 16th, starting here, right? I would really actually love to share every single one of these screenshots, because I think it proves over and over what I've been dealing with. As you can see, prior to August 16th, there are additional messages here. But this started August 16th with this specific instance. Again, I'd like to show all of them.
Okay, and are all of the messages we're going to see true and accurate screenshots of your communications to and from the respondent?
Yes.
Okay, have they been edited or changed in any way?
I was gonna say we don't even have to look
Just
at
screenshotted
the letter.
All right.
That letter
Allie,
was
you're an idiot.
banger.
August 16th, 6:52. You're an idiot if you don't think I don't know what's happening. Allie, I am sorry. I really don't know what's happening with you, and I'd love to learn. Might have to save me, though. Almost drunk at Lake Lanier. Next page.
I love that he's reading these, by the way.
That's not the point. I'm
Yeah, I
pretty
hope
sure
it
you
comes
love me,
back.
Allie. You think I'm an idiot. It's also nothing else. It's one drive by me, holding my hand, looking into my eyes, difficult situations, my ass, you by me. There's nothing else. Next page. I'm texting only because I see a reason, and you give me a reason because you've got something. There's a picture. August 16th, 8:25. I don't give a fuck what's the rest of the world is giving. I would die here, but I love you. Pick them up from Chick-fil-A. And so does this skip forward to October 16th?
Yeah.
This
And
matches the other.
Sorry,
yeah,
wrong chat.
sorry, that might have been in there. If we can, they might have not all gone in correctly, but
Leave it on
yeah,
the
that
list.
was,
Leave
so
it up
that
to
was
Chick-fil-A,
about 20 plus messages. As you can see, it's very erratic.
So there are quiet periods and then there are
Right, and
deletions
there's
of messages.
over. Is it possible to start from the top of these screenshots and I can speak it on each one?
Speak it.
Some of them, any of them we've covered, I'll feel free to move forward. So if you scroll down on this page here on this screenshot, I actually scroll up just a bit first. I apologize. You can see on August 16th, if you scroll down, I said, so I think this goes without saying, but I have zero interest in pursuing a relationship further. Happy to stay friends/neighbors, but wanted to be as clear as to where things are. Now, obviously my stance changed on this as I started to become harassed over and over again. If we can go to the next screenshot, please. Now, again, it's just asking why I made that decision, and I'm constant on my explanation.
What a dick. Wow, good luck.
Wow, good luck with that.
Wow,
Good luck finding anything in this hot and an Indian man in this area. Good luck.
We can go to the next message.
Appears to be a lot.
It's almost he's asking
He's
how
got
many
something to
stars would you
say.
give? And then asking more reasons about it. We'll go to the next screenshot, please.
True. Yeah, I
Um,
had to.
Again,
At least
this is when the messages started on August 16th. Again, I reiterated, I'm no longer interested in this. I can't force something that's not there. We can go to the next message, please.
These were the 2 pages I think we just read.
Yep.
Oh,
So we
wait.
can keep going.
Yeah, she's really taking over the courtroom at this point.
Now,
Yeah, she is.
here I want to show these, right? This is over and over again. I'm asking to be done. I'm saying, please leave me alone. I literally don't know what you're saying. It's getting very annoying at this part. I'm done. I'm not sure how to make this more clear. Then he goes, I am sorry you feel me annoying. I don't mind annoying people as long as it helps. If you scroll down on this page, I respond saying, I don't want your help. And I don't think you understand the point. I want to be left alone. If we can go to the next message, please. How can I make this more clear? Fine, I will leave you alone. That doesn't bury the fact you're screaming for help. I said, haha, I'm screaming to be left alone. So please keep whatever interpretation you have to yourself and respect what I'm asking for the 5th time. You can read what the respondent said. If we go to the next screenshot.
for the record. Men are
And then
not
this was
assholes.
the rampage before he started on the 16th. So men are not assholes.
The closed captioning is annoying me. Is that just on the
Yeah, that's
recording?
we talked about this last week. Yeah,
Okay.
it's still there.
All
But
right.
we're now in English.
Yeah. And I
instead
think it
of
is-
Spanish.
Yeah, we're not talking about video games.
I'm sorry, I don't think you deserve that. If we can go to the next screenshot, actually 2 down.
So these were the ones that we read that come to the picture of the lake.
As you
Yeah.
can see, she quit replying.
Okay, and then
If you can scroll down here, but go to
Well, she said her part like 3 times.
screenshot 10, if you
Oh.
don't mind.
is at the bottom. He's texting you the next morning
Yeah.
and asking if you still want to be friends.
Yeah, and I said no. We can go to screenshot 11. I just want to run through these here. This was about the Apple Watches and the gift. We'll go to the next one, 12. Now, this was, I want to pause here. You can see, please come back. There's multiple attempts. I sent the attempt on October 18th. This was 2 days after these were left in my trash can. I said, I've spoken to a lawyer about you harassing me multiple times after asking you multiple times to stop and leave me alone. If you contact me again, contact Jenny, which is a friend of mine, or approach me in public, my lawyer and I will also go to the apartment as well as the police. I also included in, I guess we can keep going, but some of this goes further into the timeline here. These are recent messages. So I wanted to save these if that's okay. So I guess we can pause. If you don't mind, yeah, we can save that. So after October 16th, I moved early. I actually, the petitioner number 6, I have my moving documents uploaded that shows my lease termination and the date that I hired the movers. I'm not sure that I feel that comfortable sharing that right now, and I'll show you why. Because for my safety,
Well, you can just testify. What's the date you moved out of the apartment?
October
Or you
30th. October 30th. Yep.
Okay, so at the end of October, you moved out of the
Happy
apartment. Your
Halloween,
lease was
baby.
good through when? The end of the year?
7/15.
Okay, so, and did you incur any financial consequence or penalty as a result of that decision?
I did.
And what was that?
I had to pay an extra, the time difference. I was paying double rent for that period of time.
So you left the apartment, got another residence, and continued to pay rent for the remaining 6 weeks on your lease.
Correct. Yeah, to get out of the situation or get
Okay,
out,
and he was continuing to reside at the apartment in that time.
correct, to my knowledge, yes.
Okay. And so you relocated in October, and what would you like to tell us next?
Yeah. So past that point, I was trying to move on with my life as I am at this period. Nothing happened. I moved forward until I got a text message on I'll look at the date in a second, but my birthday was May 9th. I was out of town for a work trip. I was in Savannah. I got a call about a delivery, and usually my brother will send me flowers for my birthday. I asked who the delivery was from the delivery driver. I was expecting to hear my brother's name. I heard the respondent's name and nearly was very uncomfortable. So I had 2 deliveries sent by the respondent to my new address. I did not tell him my new address. On that day, I filed a police report.
So that was how you came to find out that he knew your new address.
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
petitioner number 1 evidence is this police report.
Wow.
Any pictures of him walking his dog by your house? The new house?
Any chance
Okay,
that
I don't-
you were walking in the same direction?
Okay, and that was with
Brookhaven Police.
Brookhaven Police. All right, I guess the information on here is not confidential, but, and so you reported to them that you have been contacted, that you didn't know how this person had your information.
Correct. If we could go to the second page, please. Thank you.
Real quick,
This is a
let me say
summary.
something real quick, which we'll hear later on down the road in this, where she says that she did not block him because she felt like, no, she wasn't going to talk with him, but she wanted to know what he was thinking and doing, so that if out of the blue, he sends some sort of threat, she'll have this evidence for this case, for one thing, but she'll know what he's doing and thinking, and maybe give herself a little bit of a warning that if he was going to do something egregious.
So that makes sense. I don't think that I would block a stalker either. I would just stop responding.
Yeah, which she did, which we saw that. So I just want to clear that up real quick.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, listen, especially if you're actually scared of somebody, it makes sense, because you're going to want a protection order at some point if it gets to that point. So that makes sense.
Well, since they're not here to be questioned, I mean, you can tell us what you informed the police, but we don't necessarily need the report from the officer to accompany that in the moment. And so you notified them that about what was going on, and then you were instructed to take what steps?
I notified them what was going on. The officer asked me if she actually said, based off the evidence that I had given her, I could call a judge and potentially take further action. I told the officer at the time, I was very shocked and felt very uncomfortable and scared. I didn't know what to do. So I wanted some time to think about it and contact my own counsel, if you will. So I told her just to file the police report. It's been going an ongoing process, and then I would decide the next step from there. So I had 2 packages delivered. On one of the packages, it has a receipt with his email address, his confirmation, everything. I know they were both from him. That is when I decided to move forward with filing this protective order, because enough is enough. that has made me very uncomfortable in my own home.
Okay, and I show that this order was filed on or about June 6th. Is that correct? All right, and so what contact has taken place, let's say across May and June of this year?
Yeah, so if we can go back to just the text message evidence at the bottom, the ones that we didn't get to, the most recent, I have 4 text messages from him on June 12th, June 13th, June 17th. So if we can show those, there's 4 screenshots, especially the ones from June 7th. Yeah. So
If we can go up one just in case.
yeah.
Okay,
This one right here.
Mhm.
Okay.
so May 6th, this is 2023. I have no interest to harass you or get arrested. I happen to see a missed call from you checking back. And this was,
That was 3 days before the deliveries to my new apartment.
okay. And then June 12th, a message that just has your name.
And
And then June 13th, if we can scroll down one. If it was just a wrong dial, just say so, and I'll forget you ever existed. If it's not, which is the premise of this message, I think we both agree we are not getting any younger and we need to talk.
yeah, and then these are the last messages here. So if you can read that, if we can go back.
Can we go back one? Okay.
Go ahead, take your time.
All right, what's next? The next page, sorry.
My favorite part so far. I'm sorry, I have a tendency to go on and on. Yeah.
You think?
And in quotes, Allie, disappear with me. And then in all caps, I really meant it.
Disappear with me seems to be, I don't know. That's a little
Yeah, it could be taken a lot of different
cryptic.
ways.
Yeah, taken many ways. Maybe his
All right, the
attorney will
next
be able to
page.
figure it out.
Oh yeah, I wanted to also, sorry, this breaks this up, but the comment about do we really have to give up having sex really rubbed me the wrong way and intimidated me after.
There it is.
I can
Like
see.
the sex, huh?
I like how your breast is meat.
Everything I've been through, that was prior, but I know that's out of order, but that was just one more to the equation. If we go to the next screen.
By the way, for those of you that can't see it, he says, wait, do we also have to give up having sex? Exclamation point, question mark. And she says, please leave me alone. And if you keep with the stupid ass comments, I will block your number. He comes back with saying, I'll take that's a no.
Screenshot, that's the end of the messages.
So you're saying there's a chance. This guy's something, man. I love this dude. What is all those weird noises coming from the attorney?
Great question. I believe maybe lunch just got there. I don't know.
You rubbed me the wrong way.
All right, that's the last page.
Yes.
All right, and these screenshots have not had their text edited in any way. And they're fair and accurate copies of the messages you send and receive
Ali.
from these dates.
Ali, I love you.
All right, hold on, hang on. Counsel, any objection to these being admitted into evidence?
No objection.
All right,
Get down to bay.
go ahead, ma'am.
I was just going to say the only other thing, if you need to see it, I have Petitioner for evidence as the delivery pictures with the evidence. If you need to see that, we can. If not, it's up to
We
you.
can pull that up. And this is in reference to the May deliveries.
Yes.
Again, she's a cute girl. I just don't get it.
All right, give us just a moment. We'll pull
So
up
you're
number
saying
4.
Tim Tracker's wife, Jen, is cute.
Younger her, yeah.
Younger her, yeah. Definitely. What do we got here?
So that was the note that went along with
Happy
the flowers.
birthday.
And picture number 2.
Oh.
Um,
That's an old address. Don't worry about it.
that I received.
Don't live there no more.
And then if you go
Nice
to
flowers.
picture 3, that was a separate delivery.
Oh,
And then picture
is that a nothing but cake? I believe it is.
I hope she kept that.
Right. I don't care if my biggest enemy sent me one of them things.
4 shows the delivery receipt, which actually shows his email address. It says ordered by his name. If you look in the top left-hand corner underneath where it says the delivery to me, you can see it was ordered by him. So
They're the best.
So-
I've never had one. Oh,
Can we go back to number 1?
Yep.
She's a good little
So
attorney
can
for
you
herself.
Explain what we're looking at here.
yeah, you know what? You got to give some credit to her. She did kind of take over with the reading and stuff, but she wanted to make sure that everything was in order because you notice they had skipped a couple. She went back and then they went right down the order, and it makes sense. So far, so good on her side, no doubt about that.
His name is Tom. Yo, Tom.
Well, that's his name that they gave him at the call center. I'll be RB. You gonna be okay for just a second?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just
All
chilling.
right.
yeah, my assumption is he used to say that I looked like Natalie Portman. I don't really see it. I guess that's where he's
Neither do
going
I.
from with that. And then the Tom thing, we saw one movie together, which was Top Gun. And I'm assuming this is kind of like a joke, but not a joke, if you will.
It's a
But
joke.
same
all right.
delivery address. I know these are connected.
So did they arrive at the same time?
I'm not positive. I was, like I said, I was out
You
of
found them did you find them at the same time?
I found the second delivery. Actually, I never even found the delivery. The delivery driver sent me over the evidence. I told him he could dispose of those. And then on May 10th, when I arrived back from my work trip, I went to my leasing office and picked up the flowers as well as this note.
Okay. And so the flowers also came while you were in Savannah for the
Yeah.
work trip. You recovered them from the apartment leasing office. There was no
Nice
documentation
flowers. Those are
that
nice.
accompanied those the way it did for the other stuff, but they were received in the same period that you were gone. And how long were you gone?
One night, overnight.
Just
Okay.
one night.
So very short window for, this is not a situation where you were gone for 2 weeks and it could have been at opposite ends of the thing. Understood. All right. And are these photographs true and accurate copies of what they purport to depict?
Yeah.
All right, counsel, any objection to their admission?
No objections, Your Honor.
All right. All right, we've covered the text messages and the pictures. I believe that is all the questions I have for you right now. I may have follow-up questions on redirect. Right now, Mr. Shin, the attorney for the respondent, will have the opportunity to cross-examine to ask you questions about anything he thinks that he needs to in this process. If there are any issues I have with the questions being asked, then I'll intervene and we'll kind of correct course. So, Mr. Shin, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Beeler. Just a few questions about what you just testified to. Looks like based upon the Ms. Beeler, based on the text messages that we just saw on the screen, it looked like you were also sending text messages to Mr. Robbie, correct?
Up until my last one in October. Yes.
So you guys were exchanging. It was not a unilateral communication from Mr. Robbie to you. You guys were in fact exchanging text messages, right?
Up until my last message in October, yes.
October, correct. Okay, and then you did not block Mr. Robbie's phone, correct? Phone number.
Correct.
And back in April of this year, you called Mr. Robbie on his phone, right?
I don't believe so. If I did, it was a butt dial, if you will.
Okay.
But
There was no voicemail, no text, no follow-up. So there's been a few times where I was looking through these text messages over, just examining some of this, trying to rack my brain. It might have been a mistake call. However, I have not tried to have any sort of contact with him, period, for obvious reasons.
Does your the last 4 digits of your phone number end in 9390?
Yes.
Last 4 digits. Okay. And I think in the one of the text messages we just saw, you told I think it's from in August of 2022, you sent a text message to Mr. Robbie stating that, to quote, I literally don't know what you're saying or if it's meant to be funny. Honestly, it's getting very annoying at this part. I'm done with this. I'm not sure how to make it clear. Emphasis on the really annoying. Do you recall that message from you, Mr. Robbie, back in August?
I do.
Is there a yes? Okay, thank you. And
go on. No, lost his place.
you said you called the police, the Brookhaven police. Was it after you moved out to the department?
I'm sorry, I could not understand the audio on your end, Mr. Shen. Can you repeat that question?
Yes, Your Honor, I will.
Go ahead.
Ms. Wheeler, so isn't it true that you did not call the police before when you called the Brookhaven police fairly recently, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you called the police just once so far?
I called the police about the deliveries to my address.
The one in May of this year, right?
Right.
You just called the police just once throughout this whole time frame we're talking about.
How is that relevant?
And please answer the question.
Yeah, I called the police. Actually, no, I didn't call the police. The officer's car happened to be outside of my complex. So I approached the officer.
Okay. And as of today, you have blocked Mr. Robbie's phone number, right, on your phone?
You said, say that again? You were breaking up.
You have not blocked my client's phone number, right, as of today?
Correct.
Okay.
No. You send text messages say I'm real asshole. Can you elaborate?
And in one of the texts, is it true that you said something about, in your text to Mr. Robbie, something about calling him a stupid ass comments, I will block your number, something like that? You called him a stupid ass?
I said, if you keep up with these stupid ass comments, I will block your number.
Oh, never mind. I just deny it now. She called him something.
How dare she? Spicy little minx.
Is this guy over prepared and has too many questions, and he's trying to figure out what to ask, or he just doesn't have enough? I don't think he has anything to work on.
Is there any way we hear from Tom?
I don't think so. I mean, he hasn't even smiled, moved any. He's just sitting there.
He is locked in on her like a vulture.
You know what he's thinking about, right?
What's he thinking about?
It says it in the closed captioning what he's thinking about.
Ass.
It's reading his mind.
Okay.
Ass.
Nothing further for the witness, Your Honor.
All right.
But
Ma'am, did you have any other witnesses that you wish to call to testify today?
Sorry, I stepped in cat puke, by the way.
All right. The petitioner has rested. Mr. Shin, you have the ability to call witnesses, including but not limited to the respondent. How would you like to proceed?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to call my client, Mr. Robbie, as a witness.
All right, sir, I'm going to ask that you raise your right hand for me, please.
Yeah, I don't think this
Do
is
you
a very
swear
good
any
idea.
statements you make to the court today will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Go ahead, Mr. Shin.
Thank you, Your Honor. did you get a missed call from Miss Beeler back in April of this year?
That's correct. Yes.
And is the last 4 digits of her number 9390? Your Honor, we have a R1 respondents exhibit number 1 that we'd like to present and tender.
These better be her sending nudes.
Okay, Mr. Robbie, do you recognize that on the screen document marked as respondents exhibit number 1?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what is it?
It's a call log showing the missed call from the petitioner.
Petitioner, you said? All right, on April 29th?
Correct.
Okay, is there
Okay,
a
so
fair-
what, hang on, let me jump in here. So what I'm supposed to be looking at is primarily, it is strictly the unredacted line, the 678-9390 number for 1:53 p.m. is the alleged missed call from the petitioner. Is that the only one of these that I need to be
Nancy.
putting my brain power toward at this moment?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay,
Yes.
carry on. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything else I needed to glean from this.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I covered up.
So,
and he reads
Mr.
it.
Robbie, so is there a fair and accurate?
I know, Jesus, you can't win with this thing. Very quickly, this is not like a leg to stand on.
Yeah,
It's one phone call. One. We're talking about gifts in a, given to her in a sneaky way, not even like straight handed to her, right? We're talking about all of those text messages that we saw. I'm sure there are more. The love letter. I mean, come on.
Captain Creepy.
Copy of the actual screenshot from your phone call history.
It is.
Your Honor, we'd like to tender respondents exhibit number 1 as the evidence.
All right. Ma'am, do you have any objection to this screenshot of the call log coming into evidence?
No.
All right, so admitted. Carry on.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. So, Mr. Robbie, so when you got this missed call, what action did you take?
A missed call, not even a
afterwards?
conversation.
I missed it. I could not see it. I could not answer it right away. And I, especially after October's, I was trying to move on with my life and getting busy at work and the school that I go to, and it all disturbed me big time.
Big time.
So, did you reach out to Miss Beeler after you got a missed call from her in April?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the substance of your contact with Miss Beeler after you got that missed call?
No, I was trying to check what was the call for, and yeah.
Was there any kind of, did you intend to, or did you send any messages or any contacts to intimidate or to harass Miss Beeler?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay, and you guys were exchanging text messages last year. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, and have you sent any
Last year was a
messages
long time ago.
to Miss Beeler to intend to intimidate or to harass her last year?
No.
And you guys were exchanging text messages until was it October of last year?
Correct.
Okay. And then did you ever contact Miss Beeler after you were served with the TPO papers this year?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
There was nothing there, by the way. That was a nothing.
Your Honor, that's all I have for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, I have some follow-up questions.
That was it.
Sir, you said that she called and you couldn't answer right away. Is that what you testified to?
Correct.
Okay, and why is that?
I was not at the phone. I could not see the call.
Okay, this number is a cell phone, right? The number that she contacted you on is your cell phone?
Yes.
Okay, I was inferring that based on the fact there was a call log to screenshot in the first place. Okay, and so your cell phone would typically be with you, correct?
Typically.
Okay. Do you work?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you have a typical weekday work schedule, or is it different than that?
9 to 5, and I'm 9 to 5. It's
Dun,
a
dun,
typical
dun, dun,
schedule,
dun,
and sometimes I can. I work on the weekends, and I also go to a school for training during the weekends. So it might have been one of those days.
Okay, well, this would have been about 2 p.m. on a Saturday. So, if you seem, so what was going on this particular Saturday?
I don't recollect, sir, but I could be at the library. I could be at the school.
Let me rephrase the question a little bit. When did you become aware that you had missed a call from her?
Little after.
He's checking his phone like every 5
I
seconds.
Okay, so more than a few hours later, you're saying is the first time you
Every
noticed.
text, every call.
And
is
you
hard
said
to
you
get.
followed up and tried to contact her. What methods did you use to follow up?
I sent a text message.
Okay, and so that was around May 6th. Was the first message based on what she submitted? Does that sound right?
That sounds about right. Yes.
Okay, and then messages that followed in the weeks across the next, let's say, I'm going to round it, approximately a month and a half or so. So from May 6th across about mid-June, it was various unreturned text messages for that period, correct?
Correct.
All right. And did you leave the Apple Watches and the flowers in October?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and did you send the flowers and the other gift in May?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right.
Just last
I
month.
think those are all the questions that oh no, those aren't all the questions that I have. How do you know where to send them to?
Right. So
That's a
after
great question.
my lease was due to renew in April 2023 or so, and I was looking for apartments too, and I wanted to be, and I like to be near a park, and I wanted to. I was checking. I checked few apartments, and I ended up in one of those. Where apparently I was taking a tour of the leasing office. Of the apartment, and that's when I ran into the leasing office was very specific about the petitioner staying there.
The leasing office was very specific about it.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean?
She was clear on her name and the brother she has. So,
okay, but how does that come into your conversation with the leasing office when you're looking for an apartment?
Which I still don't understand to this moment.
Think real hard.
Absolutely, sir. I still don't understand.
Except this part.
So what questions did you ask the leasing office about the petitioner?
Had to have asked about if she lived there.
I once after I come to understand that she's living there, I did not want to be part of that apartment, and I just renewed the current lease at my apartment.
He's not answering it. Flush, thank you for the 2 bones. I feel like he was actually answering a few of the questions, but until we got to this point.
Yeah. Do you think he went to every apartment complex around there and just taking the tour? And he's like, yeah, I think my friend may stay here. I think this is the one she was talking about. She stays in. Oh, what's her name?
I could see that. I could see that. My friend, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah. Her and her brother both stay here. Yeah.
How about that from Judge? Think real hard. In other words,
and Judge was like, think real hard.
For him, that's kind of, you just don't see that out of him.
All right, Madam Clerk.
I can see Dude getting with her. Judge Dude and her, maybe?
I think it'd be all right. Yeah. I wonder if he's married. Anybody know? He's got a dog.
Yeah.
We ever seen the wife?
I'm guessing no wife.
You think so? I hope someday we can have him on and ask him lots of questions.
I'll send him an email tonight.
I want to know.
Pull up the exhibit that had the it was 4 pages. It was the flowers and the note. It was the other present and the receipt. Can we pull that back up and display the page with the receipt, please?
Okay, I think that was number 4.
Number 4.
That sounds correct to me as well.
Okay.
And I think we're looking for page 3, if my memory serves me correct. Whatever page has the receipt on it.
Ah, good point.
Look at you, Your Honor.
There's the nothing but.
And then if we could, I'm going to maximize that on my screen. And then if we could zoom in. All right.
That's not very good zooming, so I'm not too worried. Looks very blurry.
And so that is the address that those were sent to. And so what mention of Miss Beeler did you make to the leasing office?
Out of all the people that live there, she brought her up.
I did not mention. I mean, I was there to take a tour of the apartment. I have no idea that she's living there.
Okay. So how does it even come up?
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
How does that even come up?
I do not understand that till day. Yes, sir.
What?
I don't understand.
Okay. So your testimony under oath today, under penalty of perjury, is that you went to take a tour of the apartment, and then the leasing. Have you ever met the person that worked in the leasing office before today, before the day of the tour?
No.
Okay. And so this person who is a stranger to you, how many other residents did the leasing office identify besides Ms. Beeler on this day?
I don't recollect any.
Guess. So none is your answer. The only resident that was identified by the leasing office in your testimony under oath today is that they said, oh, by the way, this person who happens to be your ex-girlfriend also resides at this complex.
Judge, dude.
Is that how would they even know that?
Shouldn't his lawyer like stop for a moment and say, hey, can I talk to my client real quick? And then, I mean, isn't this a point where you should do that now?
I mean, maybe, but again, Judge is coming in defense of this lady. I mean, he is not taking no bullshit answer. He wants concrete, he's backed this guy in the corner. His attorney can't help him. There's no helping him.
The only help would be just to save yourself and just either make up a really good story or tell the truth here at this point. And for Judge Dude, it's kind of stepping out. I like this. I like the side of Judge Dude.
Yeah.
You don't see very often, and it's true. He's got that this, what happened, right? We all know it.
Mm-hmm.
It certainly didn't come off this way.
100%. So that's what I clearly remember till this date.
The mysteries of life, I suppose. All right, Ms. Beeler, are there any questions I should have asked that I haven't thought to ask?
I'm a little bit speechless right now, Your Honor, to be honest.
So is Judge.
I would love to see I would be curious to ask my leasing office. I'm pretty sure legally they're not able to give out any information. And if you had a booking of a visit, but it's neither here nor there. I think this just goes to prove my point even further. So
I do have, well, let me turn to this. Jen, do you have any for your client?
Your Honor, just a question, Your Honor. Mr. Robbie, so did you go out actively searching for Ms. Beeler's whereabouts recently or last year?
Absolutely.
Okay, so when you went to the leasing office, and then what was the first thing that you said to the leasing office folks?
I just wanted to get an apartment. That's it.
Okay, and then, well, how long were you there?
Probably 30 minutes.
Okay, and
There was
Hang on, Mr. Shen. His audio. Sometimes the
Let
connection
him fix his audio.
probably
so he
on
can
my
purchase
end
stuff more.
struggles to process everything
yeah.
coming through, and then what happens is the audio
Drinking out
it
of
gets a little bit choppy, like the box at the drive-through when you're trying to make your order. And so I heard you ask how long you were there, but I can't understand his answer.
yes, Your Honor. So I'll repeat the question, Your Honor. So how long were you at the leasing office?
30-40 minutes.
Okay, and then do you recall what was the first thing you when you walked in, what was the first thing you told the leasing office people there?
So I walked in, and there were two ladies and one lady, and they were helping some other residents.
Okay.
So I waited in the lobby, and once they were ready, so first there was a lady that who took me, and she was asking what sort of apartment are you looking for,
Okay.
and all of those questions, right? And she said she can take me on a tour while you sit on there. Just wait for me and we can go on a tour, right? And after that lady left, and there's a different lady that came in, and she is the one who brought this topic out of nowhere, and I slowly realized that she is living there, and later we went ahead with the tour. And I know at that moment I don't want to stay at that apartment, but I just went with the tour, and later on I left.
Okay, so all right, so
they have a piece of ID. They have my driver's license.
so some different person approached you, the leasing office, and then all of a sudden said Miss Beeler lives at that apartment.
Correct. Yes.
What else did that this different person say to you?
Right. So she was specific about the details that would help me identify her. Right. About her brother who lives in a different country, and yeah.
Did you ask her like why all of a sudden, like why are you saying this, for example? Did you ask her what's going on? Like, why is this all of a sudden coming up?
I was trying to process, but I know I don't want to be there. So I did not ask any questions. So I was just being polite and took the tour of it and just left.
Did you ever submit any applications to that apartment?
Nope.
Bullshit.
Once I applied.
Did you call the leasing office anytime after that tour?
No, she wanted me to. She asked me once that are you still interested, and I said I
think I'm alone now. There doesn't seem to be any Creed around. This is my opportunity to thank everybody for being here and remind you to like the video. We're getting to the climax of this incredible situation. Judge Dude's pretty pissed off.
Agent besides on that issue.
I would recollect at least 2 or 3.
Okay, are they all in the same area or are they kind of spread out geographically?
Spread out.
Okay.
Spread out.
And you said you ended up renewing the lease at your old apartment?
That's correct.
And what is the name of that apartment complex?
The Hollywood.
Is it? Can you still see the video all right and stuff? Because
it's stuttering a little bit, but let it.
Just a second. Then take a moment to say "F you, Stan." And by the way, we'll be back 405 East for Taco Tuesday, and we got a chase.
Yeah, and we have 2 videos dropping today over on Credence and Mikey. 2 cases you don't want to miss. One at 5 p.m. Eastern, and one at 6 p.m. Eastern. Both of them insanely good. You don't want to miss them. Make sure you get there. One is of a offender of a certain type, Creed, that's complaining he can't find a job, so he can't pay his $40,000 in the rears child support. And the other one is a lady that told a woman she was going to burn her house down and kill her children. So,
good God,
2 fantastic people in one place at the same time.
Michael, thank you. 2 bones, 300 people on the main channel, and only 12. No, there's more than 12 likes.
Oh my God.
I promise you that. It ain't that bad.
And that's just to clarify. And so you and the petitioner were neighbors at the Oliver?
Correct.
Okay, so and as of today, you're still at the Oliver?
Correct.
Okay. That's all for this witness, Your Honor.
All right. Did you have any other witnesses you intended to call?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Beeler, I'm going to categorize this as rebuttal testimony. It's sort of points of clarification as much as anything, but I do have a few other questions I wish to ask you. I see that the listed address for the respondent's residence is in Chamblee, and that is the address where you two were neighbors. Is that correct? I think I saw you say yes. I couldn't hear it, but that's a me issue.
Oh.
Okay. And approximately how far away did you move? Because I noticed it was a Brookhaven police report.
Yeah, within 5 miles or less.
Okay. So a different city, but fairly close because these things just kind of run together in DeKalb County. Do the apartments in your complex have apartment numbers, or do they have an individual, I'll call it an individual street address? I can clarify that question further if that doesn't make sense.
Clarify it further if you don't mind. So
Okay. Madam Clerk, can we pull up the receipt from the one that you showed from Exhibit 4 a few moments ago?
I think I know where you're going here, actually. Yeah, no problem. We have individual apartment numbers. It was sent to not the actual apartment number, but to the just actual address, as you can see on the receipt.
Okay, and so that address would pertain to a number of apartments, and then there would be specific apartment numbers that would follow behind that same street address, which is I'm just going to call it the Blair address. I mean, I know it's displayed on the screen, but there would be a number of units that would be 3450, that address, and then a number or letter number, whatever the style of the number is or of the designation that comes after. Okay, and then could you estimate how many apartments or buildings there are in the complex?
2 buildings. I'm not sure the total number of apartments.
Okay, more than 10?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd say probably over 100 at least.
Wait, how many buildings did you say?
Two buildings, but at least over 100 apartments.
That's
okay. How many?
Don't please disregard that, Miss Click. That's an interesting one. If you think about it, it's even harder to find somebody when you're in like an apartment building like that, right? I mean, it's easy to go, okay, so one of these 2 big buildings, but when you're really narrowing it down to an apartment number, you really got to do some work to figure that out somehow.
Yeah, and again, his whole thing about they mentioned she stayed there. They didn't mention she stayed in 3B over in building 6. You know?
So even if he did admit that somehow, some way, when he was on that tour, right, that the person had admitted that, they're gonna maybe they'll point out one of the buildings, but not the apartment number.
Yeah.
I mean,
you had to do extra stalking to find out the actual apartment number.
That's why. So even with all of that work, even the lawyer was doing, to somehow make that make sense, I would have probably at least lied and said, yeah. I said that my friend or something. I don't know.
Doesn't pan out. It's a lie.
Ooh. Yeah. Finding the apartment number though that's an interesting.
Stories are in your building, for example, or in the buildings that you know of roughly?
I think 4.
Okay. So these are fairly.
Right.
Okay. All right. I know that I've kind of brought you in for that rebuttal evidence. Mr. Shin, did you have any questions in response to the rebuttal questioning?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Shin, any argument?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll just keep it very brief. I just want to start a case law. It's Murphy v. O'Keefe, a court appeals case dated 2019.
Get ready, a story time with Shin.
Is there audio issue? Can you hear me?
Get ready.
It's a little choppy.
Chris and Kenya Brown, thank you both.
So he's going to cite a previous case, and he's going to tell us all about it.
Oh, great.
So it's story time. He's going to give us and I want to tell you this now. They have nothing to do with each other. Nothing.
I mean,
I'm not compare the 2 cases.
This is going to be a complete waste of time. No surprise at all.
I got that it was a Court of Appeals case, and I think you were about to give me the site.
Yes, Your Honor. It's a court appeals case, Murphy v. O'Keefe. It's a 348 Georgia Appellate Court 344.
Rigsy,
Basically,
not much.
for that case law, what happened at the trial court level, the finding was that there was a waitress at a restaurant that eventually filed a petition against another person, a customer at the restaurant that she was a waitress at, a Stalking TPO. So the trial court found that the waitress worked at the restaurant. This guy went to the restaurant where she worked at and then gave her a tip of $100. The next day, the guy goes back there and tells her manager that, well, he tipped her this much, so he wants to go out on a date with this waitress. And also he left her, the waitress, a note saying that to call him. And on the next day on the weekend, he went back to that restaurant and was sitting at the bar looking at the waitress. And the waitress testified that she did not feel comfortable with him being there. So they called the police. And then also further, after the police, they came and they left. The respondent in that TPO case left, got a cab, but went to a Lowe's nearby and then called the waitress, the restaurant from the Lowe's, and talked with the waitress. And again, he told the waitress that she had a pretty voice. And then also the waitress testified.
The funny part is you're going to find out this is actually Tom.
He's got like fables.
Yeah.
Didn't the butterfly land on the nose of crane?
So far, my lawyer friend, not great.
The customers at the restaurant were walking in and he handed them a note, and the note said, call this guy, the respondent. So they called the police again. So the trial court issued a 12-month protective order based on stalking. The court of appeal reversed that issuance of the TPO, finding that the stalking as a court to wear is a legal term and it has to be a harassing and intimidating contact that's unwanted, and that means emotional distress by placing such a person in reasonable fear for such person's safety or the safety of a member of his or her immediate family. It has to be harassing and intimidating. And the court of appeals reasoned that the evidence that's presented, the trial court's finding was not sufficient to establish that there was in fact a stalking that occurred, because merely feeling uncomfortable it does not satisfy the stalking statute. And similarly in this case, we've seen text messages that the parties exchanged back in October of last year, where we clearly saw that the petitioner said, this is really annoying. And she's irritated, she's annoyed, but we haven't seen anything in the evidence that she presented that she's in reasonable fear for her safety or the safety of her immediate family members. She may have been irritated or annoyed, but I don't think we've seen that something that shows that she's in fear for her safety. In fact, to this date, she has not blocked Mr. Robbie's phone. And the petitioner admitted that she exchanged text messages until the October of last year. And we saw evidence that there was a missed call from the petitioner back in April 29th of this year. And then my client reached out to her to inquire into why did you call me? And regarding the apartment complex, sounds strange to me as well. I mean, it sounds strange that the leasing office folks out of nowhere say that this person resides here. But if the petitioner wants to argue that, well, he went out to track her down or search for her, I mean, he renewed his lease at the apartment. He did not move or even attempt to get submit an application for a lease at the apartment where the petitioner is currently staying. If you want to be near her and stalk her, he would have at least submit an application for the lease at the apartment where the petitioner is. He has not done that. He renewed and he's currently at his old apartment where they were neighbors in the past. I know it sounds very strange that the leasing officer would say something like that, but judging by the conduct afterwards, I don't think that we have reason to believe that he wanted to track her down and be close to her and be next to her. That I don't think there's a conclusion that we could make with the evidence presented. So overall, I think that this is a close call, but the legal
close
definition of
call
stalking has not been met. So we ask that the petition be dismissed, Your Honor.
Photo finish.
Bullshit.
A close call.
This is a close call, Your Honor.
That is one for the record books right there. It's a close call. I mean, it's pretty close to stalking, but hey, he didn't do it. He didn't move in or nothing.
I mean, he didn't never planned on moving, Your Honor. Obviously, he was just going to this place looking to see if she was there. He was never really planning on moving. It was all a ruse.
And then he says, yeah, it is. I mean, it's kind of strange, kind of weird that they would have coughed up her name at the leasing office.
But my clients got that kind of friendly face, and they just want to talk shit, about the tenants with him. By the way, does Judge Dude have a shiner on this side?
I don't know. I can't help but look every time he goes to the side where it looks like it's an anvil, basically the top of it. It's just the way that the thing cuts out. And it looks like it's a giant sweep to his head there. So close.
So close.
Your Honor, and
Go ahead. It's your turn, Ms. Beeler.
thank you. For me, this is very simple, Your Honor. I made a mistake by running into the wrong person at the wrong time, right? I tried to move out. I tried to go on about my business. I asked multiple times to be left alone. Since October, since prior to that, every day I've looked over my shoulder. I left his number unblocked because I'd rather know what's coming than be blindsided. As you can see from the text messages, it's very sporadic or erratic behavior, right? And it's something that I didn't ask for. It's something that I've asked for repeatedly to stop. All I want to do is be left alone. Obviously, me asking him to stop is not being respected. He had multiple chances to back down. I do not buy this story about the leasing office, but that's not neither here nor there. Those packages being delivered to my address made me even more so
Guys in the truck.
safety. That's not okay. And that is why I'm pursuing this. This has been a long journey. There has been a lot of emotional distress, physical distress, financial distress. It's impacted my work. It's impacted me overall. It's not something that I've taken very lightly. And I hope you can see that as well.
There we go. Both barrels.
I'm going to be as clear as I possible. The respondent has no credibility. The idea of this story with the leasing office is ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. I cannot imagine how gullible someone would have to be to think that there was a shred of possibility that you happen to be taking less than 5 apartment tours, and in all of the North DeKalb, Chamblee, Brookhaven, Doraville, Dunwoody area, you happen to pick the one she was at. And I will note for the record that the gifts that were sent within a few weeks of this tour, this alleged tour, that they were sent without an apartment number, which is consistent with you identifying this person's whereabouts and not knowing the unit in which she was staying. It would also explain why part of that gift went to the leasing office and had to be claimed there as opposed to being claimed at her apartment in the first place. With respect to how the petitioner feels about this situation, she was willing to move early. I guess not break her lease. She was willing to pay 6 weeks of double rent, which in this economy is outrageous, I'm sure. She made threats to get a lawyer in hopes of getting him to stop. He made comments about having continued sexual activity with her and made a comment about them disappearing together, whatever that means. And it frustrates me to sit here and hear things like, well, she never blocked his number. If she did block his number, then counsel would be sitting here arguing that there's not enough evidence and we don't know what he did to call her or text her or anything else. She's put herself in a vulnerable position for the purposes of eventually having to pursue this because it wouldn't stop. And I don't know, I mean, I don't know how to unpack it further than that, but by her actions, she clearly showed back in October, she's willing to hit the bricks and pay for 2 residences at once. So clearly, she has made her intent clear both to him and to the world at large. And then whatever happened in April, I don't believe that it's credible that it was hours upon hours that he didn't notice the missed call. What I suspect happened is that if it was accidentally sent through, it was sent through and canceled very quickly, because it wouldn't have, kept ringing and ringing. There was no voicemail, not even a voicemail that I would get from my parents when they pocket dial me, where I can hear people talking in the background ad infinitum. That never happened. So there's every reason to think it's a mistake. I don't think his explanation of how it played out for him is truthful, because I'm not sure much of anything he said today has been truthful. Even so, the evidence in the record suggests that his attempt to contact her started a week later, and then it continued with the gift showing up several days thereafter, and then numerous attempts, unreturned, by the way, to reach out to her in the 4 to 6 weeks that followed. And the persistence of this, coupled with her clear expressions in 2022 and beyond that she did not wish contact with him, that she was uncomfortable, that she was afraid, and then she backed those words up with her actions, it is very clear that this order should be granted. And that's what I'm going to do. It will be in effect through June 26, 2024, and it will order no contact with the petitioner or her immediate family. That includes phone calls, text messages, emails, electronically through phone, fax, pager, social media, or any other form of communication. Fax, if you have a fax, and anything else can think of. And that includes her and her immediate family, and indirect contact through third parties, whether that's a third party who you request to contact her on your behalf, or a third party connected to her who you ask to relay a message. That will be the order of the court. We will have that order prepared, and it will be entered into the record later this week. Ms. Beeler, you are free to log off. And
that's it. That's it.
Well, he certainly got it right. And I got to say, Judge Dude went above and beyond, because he was pissed.
He was.
Strong words from Judge Dude, even.
It seems like Judge Dude does not like being lied to directly to his face. When he's caught you in an obvious lie, you still persist on pushing your luck with him. But he showed him there at the end, no faxes will be allowed beyond this day.
I hate to say it, but that lawyer did not do a great job. But you also got to point out, though, lawyer had nothing to work with. I mean, not even a shred. I guess the only shred was really the butt dialed phone call.
Yeah, nothing.
That was it.
He had nothing, not a leg to stand on.
No.
And they turned at each other like they were playing password. He's like, "So did you get a phone call from her?" "Yes, I did." I mean, they're facing each other. It's just weird all the way around.
Yeah, Lady Lotus. I think that's the best way to put it. That he did a good jib, considering. No, but he really, he had nothing. So we really can't be too hard on him, because that really wasn't. Again, and then the biggest part of it is you're trying to almost hilariously try to make it sound like that he's not lying with all of that with the leasing office. I don't know. Well,
him saying he was trying to move on.
Right.
When she had called him, he was trying to move on.
I don't believe that. I gotta take a couple big deep breaths, because it's a long one today. We're just gonna say Dave times 20 or so, 20 times. Thank you. Oh my God, this thing goes on forever. We'll see you at 4:05, right?
Sure.
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
You got a chase?
We got some really great stuff for you, dude. Got a guy that went to his old job, and he did some messing up of the business, dude, in broad daylight. during business hours.
I think it's coming around. Wait.
You got this. You got this. I know you do.
Now I see why we're talking about Baby Come Back. The Baby Come Back Express. Dave is certainly in the lead in one. Dave Fart Fund Mayor Mary likes titles. Alex Atreyu, Dave, Shame Stan Shame. Kiernoff. Dave is rich. Dave Average White Girl, Florida Problems. Dave Ain't No Gold Digger. Megs Millions Michael. Dave from Downtown. Lisa B. Baby. Dave Trip. Donna on the Loose. Luce. Dave D. Pockets. Donna B. is on it. Finally, Flusha came through. Kenya Baby. Michael. And Chris.
Well done.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate you guys. Make sure if you love them cases, if you're a case head. That's right. I called you a case head. 5 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Eastern. 2 brand new, hot off the skillet, amazing court cases for you over there on Credence and Mike. Make sure you go over there and hit the old notify button so you don't have to sit around all day waiting. It'll let you know when it's time to party. Anything else, Creed?
Well, that's it. We'll see you at 4:05.
You guys stay safe, stay hard, stay tuned, because the best. Oh, yeah. Yesterday was Dave Tripp's birthday. So,
yeah, it was.
If you can't be good,
it's a toe tapper and a knee slapper.
That's right. If you can't be good at it. Top guys out. Everybody's like, who the hell is Dave Tripp?